What did he do yesterday in practice, and did he do any contact?
He did a little bit of contact, not much, but a little, and got up and down and scripted some plays, but really not much more than that.
How did he handle it? How did he take the contact?
I think quite well, quite well, but we're going to learn more after we do very much the same thing today.
How did his conditioning look to you in the limited that you saw?
Just as you would expect after being off for however many weeks, not playing. It's going to take time getting his fitness up, I think, because he is an athlete. Whenever the time comes where he does play, I think it'll move in a more rapid way. I think his body looks great. If you just look at him physically, his skin fold, his body weight, I think he looks fantastic. And so I feel like it'll kick in quicker than most.
Are you optimistic about tomorrow? I know you said you obviously won't know.
I am not really anything. I am completely neutral, and will coach and plan and think like that until somebody tells me otherwise.
And Coach, obviously, with the win, it is a factor, but at the same time, if he does play and at whatever point he does come back, how much of an impact does he make even if he's not at 100% in terms of, that game win?
I think defensively, he immediately comes in and, changes the landscape. The game is being played so fast right now, and, he has not been with us for a while. And so I think the adjustment offensively, might be a little bit more noticeable than defensively initially. I mean, he's so gifted and he's intelligent. He really is as smart and an instinctive a player as I've coached. He can look at something without doing it and then go do it. And I feel like defensively is where my mind goes first, and also the recognitions of some patience and more feeling out each other as we welcome him back into to the team and on the offensive end especially.
Brett, what's the advice for Ben Simmons when James Johnson or Winslow or any of their defenders are physical with him and crowd him? What's the best way to respond to that?
Respond with speed and find the balance of poise and getting us into stuff with a point guard mentality. I thought for the most part he did a really good job. The numbers would bear out to confirm that. It is, the thing that stands out in his world offensively, the last game especially, and I think that he'll be ready and we'll be ready for that.
Coach, are there any thoughts of deploying maybe a second ball handler with him if they keep pressuring him full?
I mean, I get this question asked like every other second. It's yes, in a perfect world, but what you should hear the loudest is you need to have spacing and shooting on the floor. And so if those other secondary ball carriers are also, credible shooters, then you got a good formula. And so the balance of that, is a challenge with our group at the moment. But I think that shooting rules the day more than that question.
After the other game, everybody talked about the Heat's physicality. You did too. Is that something that you guys respond to with physicality or speed?
I think a lot of things, those are two of them, but I think it's also the notion of it doesn't have to be like macho versus macho. That's not how we want to play. We want to have a intellectual response to physicality, and it can mean speed, it can mean space, it can mean the technique of just creating a lead and getting open. A simple jab step and putting your arm in somebody's chest and, throwing out a lead hand as an example, stuff you'd learn in 8th grade. But it all equals, fundamentals, poise, technique, that stuff to combat physicality. It's not they punch you, you punch them, they punch. It's not that at all. And in fact, that's the last side of it I want to get into. There's some of that, but it isn't all of that. And how we respond to that is going to be important. There's not one thing that went on the other night that we didn't sort of anticipate. Words are cheap, actions are real, and my players experienced action. They experienced what we guessed was going to be their response. And my assistant coach, Jim O'Brien, I said to you all in Philadelphia yesterday, said it best. like the playoffs don't start until each team gets punched in the mouth once, and then, you know, off we go. And I feel like that has happened.
Brett, how does it change when you become the road team in the playoffs?
It just becomes, you know, I think a little bit more insular, a little bit more of a bunker mentality, a little bit more of trying to minimize distractions. You know, you're not in your own bedroom, you're not in your own sort of comfort zone, your own routine rhythm to your day. It's a huge part of young players figuring out life on the road, and it certainly gets exacerbated in the playoffs. But I like it. I like the mentality and the spirit of being together. I think that we have a very close team, and I think it forces you to become even closer, you know, when you're just not at home.
As you look back at Wade tonight, some of his shots obviously high level, as far as how tough they were. Were you happy with how you all defended him? Was this just a great player having a great night where it would have been difficult to stop some of what he did, or had you found some shortcomings in how you defended him?
I think you always want to do what you're doing schematically, you know, harder, better, longer, better being the word. But in general, like, you watch the rhythm to how he played and the kind of ease in which he did it, it confirms how good he is. He was in a rhythm. And some of his fadeaway stuff, his back down stuff, you know, I felt like there were hands on his shot. There were decent contests on his shot. And I give him a lot of credit.
Thanks, Brett.